goes underneath it. In comes Jones!
They wouldn't dare win it, would they, Leeds? They wouldn't dare win it. And Holt's plays it in, and Miller's hit it! It's staggering! They have won it! And now Firpo, all the way through and in! Leeds United lift off!
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for the final game of the regular season here at Elland Road as Leeds United host Southampton. Now you already know what's at stake, you already know that we can only control what happens here today and what happens elsewhere is totally out of our hands. Joining us to talk us through this one we have former club captain Dom Matteo. How are you feeling, Dom?
All right, actually. I think we kind of, as you mentioned, we kind of know what's in front of us. We know what we need to do. And we need a little bit of luck as well, and it's not been kind to us at times, that little bit of luck, but we might get some today, so optimistic is the word. And
you've been mingling with fans, haven't
Yes.
you? You've been in the lounges ahead of this.
Yeah.
What's the feeling like? I'm always intrigued to know in a game like this.
A little bit apprehensive, I think. You know, they know what's at stake, but obviously they'll be checking the Ipswich results, I'm sure. They have mentioned that everyone's going to be looking, and that's part of the drama, isn't it? I understand that, but I think everyone's kind of thinking that Ipswich are going to get something, but you never know. It's football, isn't it? Things can change very quickly. Who scores first? I think it's just from a Leeds point of view, from our point of view, we have to start really quick and get that early goal to give the fans, get the atmosphere going, build the atmosphere, because you never know, because like you say, Ipswich might slip up and we're hoping they do.
Absolutely, and you're right. Do you know what, we talk week in week out here on LUTV about the importance of a good start and an early goal, but in a game like this that can really make all the difference, Dom.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think because maybe confidence wise from the last performance at QPR, confidence could be low, but I just feel we've got a group of players who listen, we've lost one game at home all season. They've been excellent all season, so I think we've got to give them a bit of credit. So I just feel like the fans have been incredible all season, and to go out with a decent win, a big victory, plenty of goals, whatever happens, that'll bring the confidence back in for whatever happens, you know, in the next hour or so.
Whew, Dom. Yeah. Look, we know as fans how it feels to be nervous and apprehensive ahead of 90 minutes of football, but you know from experience, how are these players feeling right now?
Yeah, well, from my point of view, being a young lad, it's obviously you're looking at the senior players to guide you a little bit, and I think we've got some senior players within our group, so hopefully they'll be guiding the other lads as well, because you need them leaders to stand up and be counted at these points. But yeah, I think we've been so consistent. It's just, I just feel like the frustration for me is that, you know, when you lose 4-0 at QPR, I didn't see it coming.
No.
I didn't see it coming.
I don't think anybody did.
No.
You know, even the players themselves, it was like they were shocked, and they've spoken afterwards. We'll hear from Ethan Ampadu later on in the show about, you know, they, by their own admission, know that wasn't at all a Leeds United performance. But it's interesting what can happen, well, at any stage of the season, but particularly towards the end, when there's a lot of pressure on these games.
I think you're right. I think pressure is a key thing. People don't talk about pressure. You know, I was at Stoke when we got promoted. No one thought we'd get promoted. We weren't even a really good side. Yeah. But we found a way. And sometimes as a player, you need them players who understand that. And I think we've got enough players, enough experience in our squad, but we are a young team still. Yeah. We're still growing, we're still learning. So maybe that's been one thing we need to improve upon, a little bit more experienced lads who know and been there, seen it and done it.
But like you say, this is the time now to look to your leaders.
Yes.
Who are the leaders that you see in this squad that you think can have that kind of influence?
Well, obviously, I definitely believe Ampadu's a great leader, great talker, great organiser. You know, you expect Joe as a centre half. He's been outstanding all season. Him again, voice. But then you look through the group. Is there voices within the group? I think there must be, but I think nowadays we don't see it. Like from my era, there was loads of people who were quite gobby, and I was one of them. You know, Gary Kelly was one. There was loads. You could go through the whole squad. Whereas Lucas Radaby, for example, wasn't a talker. He led by example. And I think we've got a lot of people who do that, who can play brilliantly, but maybe not talk enough. Maybe haven't got that voice within the group. Maybe we need a couple more of them people. But we can't knock what these lads have done this season. We've been absolutely outstanding all year. And
I think if you look back to August, there was this feeling of, God, what is this season going to hold for us? If you'd have told us back then we would be in this position now, sitting on 90 points with a game to go, we'd have bitten your hand off.
You're right. I think because obviously we know what happened at the start of the season wasn't brilliant, but all of a sudden the manager's got his thoughts across to all the players. People are wanting to play for Leeds United again. He's brought that stability back to the football club. So I think we've made great strides. We just at the last moments of the last couple of games, we haven't quite performed the way we have been doing, and that's been a little bit disappointing. But we can't knock the attitude and the way the players have played all season, losing one game at home all season. So yeah, it has been a great watch, but sometimes this is when it counts now. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, we'll talk about team news very shortly, but first let's head outside for the first time this afternoon, shall we, and catch up with our commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo.
Well, a big day ahead for Leeds United. Final game of the regulation season and still matters to be sorted out. Whether or not they'll be sorted out here remains to be seen. Team news first. Strong side out, one change.
Yes, Kamara in, Archie Gray on the bench. I think it has to be a strong side at this stage of the season now. It's about getting a result today. You know, that's important. If that's not going to be enough, then it's momentum going into the playoffs. So, got to get out there and produce. Really put that QPR performance behind. And
for somebody like Peru, with Bamford unavailable again today, needs to get a bit more game time in, whatever happens, doesn't he?
Let's be honest, he struggled against QPR, but he, like a lot of the others as well, didn't perform at their maximum. So they've got another opportunity here to produce and show what they're about. They'll be hurting, they'll be making sure that they give absolutely everything out there, but also mentally, approach the game in the right manner, because who knows what can happen in the final. We need to take something into those games, and Southampton, if we can beat them here, that'll be helpful.
If you were out on the pitch, would you be making yourself aware of what was going on? Will that not be a problem? Will let people help you with that anyway?
You can sense it in the crowd, and you'll try to put it to the back of your mind, because I've said all season, you and me and the fans are looking at those results all the time. As a player, it's the last thing you want to do. I have enough on my plate as a player, concentrating on what I should be doing, the tackle I should be winning, the pass I should be making, the goal I should be scoring. That's enough. Give all your energy to that and let everything else take care of itself.
And that is just about winning the game today then, isn't it?
That's all it is. That's the next job in front, is about winning the game. So I always used to take it right back to the start of a game. It's winning that first tackle, making that first pass. Keep it nice and simple. Just keep doing those things, and hopefully after 90 minutes, you're ahead.
Yeah, we certainly hope so, Tony, don't we? Yeah. Look, Bryn asked Tony an interesting question there about if you were out there playing today, would you be making yourself aware of what's happening elsewhere? Dom, would you?
No, I just concentrate on my job and trying to help my teammates around me. That's what you do. Whatever position you're playing in, that's what you have to do. You have to just be a parent, do your job properly. If you can help somebody else, do it. That's the nature of the beast with football. You've got to do that.
No, you're right. And regardless of what happens elsewhere, it's really important anyway to get a good performance in a game like this for confidence, because whatever the outcome is of this, that's going to be crucial.
Of course it is, 1,000,000%. We want it, whatever happens, we have to have a good result tonight, positive, because whatever happens then, if it is the playoffs, we're going into it in a better frame of mind. And the players will know that as well. They'll just want to show the fans something as well today. They want to perform for them fans, because the fans have been incredible. You know that we've all been here. The atmosphere has been brilliant all season. It did dip a little bit.
As a player though, Dom, how much of a difference does that make? Because we always talk about Elland Road being an absolute fortress, don't we? And in a game like this, we know what a difference the fans can make. But just tell us, sum that up for us as a player, what a difference that does make.
Yeah, I've always said it, I've been privileged to play at some great clubs, but obviously playing for Leeds United, the atmosphere is just different. It's just noise. And I think the one thing about being, it's a one-team city and all this, that counts for a lot as well. The fans, I mean, I chatting to people earlier, they just love this football club, and it's hard not to, because not just the history, it's just a brilliant place. The atmosphere is second to none, and people always say, it must be better place. This atmosphere here, when it's rocking, it's as good as it gets.
It's unbelievable.
It is, and I think we have to use that to our advantage more, and the fans have done their part every season. They've done that every season. And the players have done it this season. There's been a couple of seasons where I don't think the players have performed, but I think this year we've performed so well. Apart from the Blackburn game, obviously it wasn't a brilliant performance, and obviously the QPR. Apart from that, really, we've done our best in most games, and I think it's the effort and the consistency the players have put in all season. It's sad to see it just falling away towards the end when this is the key moments. Is there enough experience within that squad? We've touched about that. I think there is. I think we've got enough quality, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way.
And also, is there an element and an argument, Dom, for actually youth can play with more freedom? Like, experience is so crucial, yes, but is there not an element of freedom that comes with being young and maybe not have been in this situation before? Yeah,
most definitely. I mean, Archie Gray's the prime example of that. Yeah. He's just played out of his skin all season. So I think youth does help me personally. When I was a senior player and you're playing against the young lads, you let them go, don't you? Give them the ball and they'll go and do the work. They've got the energy.
And that exuberance, to just take it and run with it.
And just go with it. And I think it's having the right mix. I think we've got a good mix of players. Like I say, we are a young side. We have talked about that. But in the main, everyone's giving 100%. There's only been a couple of performances, as I mentioned, all season that we haven't been at it. We've been at it most games. And again, sometimes it's making the right decisions at the right moment. That's something we can definitely learn about. Can we make decisions? Can we make changes quicker? I'm sure the manager will be looking at that as well. He's done so well, but obviously sometimes the fans are looking at changes all the time. And I'm talking in all the rooms. The fans are always asking these questions, but at the end of the day, the manager's done an unbelievable job. So get behind him, and they've all got behind him. But when you make a small mistake by not putting someone on earlier, he's trying to do the best for the football club, and I totally get it.
And also, he knows his players better than any of us know his players.
Correct.
Just on Archie Gray, obviously, he drops to the bench today. Connor Roberts is back on the bench, which is great in terms of if changes are required. But man management in a game like this is going to be so important, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, like you say, Archie not playing, will he be disappointed? Of course he will. Everyone's gutted when you're not playing in a game like this. But you use that. If you're picked to play in this game today, you go out there and give it absolutely everything. Leave nothing on there. You've got to go out there and try and win the game to start with. Simple as that.
Well, one man who knows as well as all of us how important today's game is the boss, Daniel Farke. Let's get his thoughts ahead of this game.
We were all disappointed after Friday night and the outcome there, and then next day you analyze and you train. You're still disappointed. It's always the same after a loss on Friday evening. Normally Saturday you don't want to hear anything about football and don't want to go out of bed and don't want to speak about football, but you have to. And after analyzing the game and speaking about the things and be able to work then on the training pitch, it always helped. And since the beginning of the new week, we are also ready to go. So we had a good training week so far. Pretty focused, concentrated. Said it's never a guarantee that you also win the next game, and for that I can't guarantee you a firework of football and 3 points. But because we're also playing against a really good side who has an 84, but also finishing one of the top positions. Southampton, big names, really good team. So for that, we have to be at our best in order to give ourselves a chance to win some points there. But the training week was good so far, and I'm carefully optimistic that we are capable to bring this good training week also into the game on Saturday. It's a chance. It's first of all because it's still a chance to finish on top 2. We want to try it. if we manage to win the game, it would be the equal record point tally that this club has ever achieved in the whole history. It would also be a great reward for the players. And if we don't manage to go into the top 2, it's always important to have a good result for the confidence and also for the rhythm and for the mood, also for the playoffs. And we know that we play with the best sides, Southampton, and they can play with more freedom than us, perhaps, because they don't have anything to lose anymore. But nevertheless, we want to return back to our best possible behavior, because we're also, although I spoke about this, but we're also a bit self-critical. Yeah, last 3 games we have conceded too many goals. We had the best defensive record in the games before. We've lost this record. We want to go back to our top class defensive behavior. And the same also in the offense. The offensive firework away at Middlesbrough, but it's also true that in the last 4 games, in 3 games, we did 4 goals. So we want to go back to not just to create chances, but also to be effective and clinical in order to use them and to score goals. So for that, yes, we want to return back. And it's important to do this because out of many reasons.
Daniel Farker there, Don, putting into perspective and context what we were saying earlier about the points tally. If you'd have said this to us in August, like we say, after the turmoil that we're seeing with the youth that we have in this squad, it's an incredible position and we have so much to thank him for, don't we?
No, he's done an incredible job. He really has. And I think what I've loved about the manager this year is he's quite straight talking.
Yeah.
He doesn't complicate things, and I think players enjoy that. We're not clever footballers, but we're all bit, I won't say the word, but thickish. And I think sometimes he gives clarity to what they're trying to achieve, and I think the points tally is incredible, and it's just disappointing that it's not got us promoted. But that just shows you the quality of the Championship as well. So it's a tough league.
It really is, and like you say, any other season this would have been more than enough to secure automatic promotion, which speaks volumes about this Leeds United side and about the Championship as well. This season, it's been a very healthy competition, hasn't it?
I think, being honest, I've enjoyed watching the Championship more than the Premier League games. It's just the way it is. It's so exciting. Like you say, there's still things that could happen for us today in Ipswich and then other teams down the bottom. It's just such a great league. Obviously, you want to get out of it. That's where you want to be. You want to be in the Premier League. Simple as that. But whichever way you get to the Premier League, it doesn't matter. So whatever happens today, for me, we win or lose. We hope we get that rubber in. But if we don't, we get well prepared, because we know the games are going to be coming up. The 2 games before the final. You've got to have that in your head as well, just in case. But first and foremost, let's take care of today, and then we can think about what goes forward after that.
Yeah, completely. And we hear the boss say, don't we, take each game at a time. You know, and he never takes too much from a win or a loss. He's always looking to the next game. Yeah. How do you think Daniel Farker's truly feeling privately right now?
I mean, it's got to be a little bit of disappointment, of course, because we've done so well. And I suppose, looking at the results from Ipswich, for example, they won the last game. That could have went either way. The games before that, they haven't performed brilliantly. They've had a few draws. But I think from the manager's point of view, he'll be disappointed, as I mentioned. But I generally think he's done the best he can possibly do. And I think the disappointment will have been probably the QPR game, being honest. Yeah. Because it felt like we didn't turn up. Didn't feel like a Leeds team for me, who were on it. They kind of bullied us a little bit, which I didn't like. I think the manager will have probably spoke to them about that. Because defensively, let's be honest, we've been outstanding. And I'm ex-defender that always comments about stuff like that. But I find it hard to really have a go at the lads, because they've been brilliant all year, really. Now it's disappointing for them lads as well, getting a bit of stick, losing 4-0, but we're on the end of them.
We have included today's opponents, Southampton. Yes. They've experienced losses as well, but they've had a consistently good season as well, haven't they? Yeah,
they have. I think Southampton, again, is one of those teams you look at and you go, they should be in the Premier League. The Premier League team, they've been in the Premier League, they've had lots of experience in that. You look at the squad, they've got lots of good players in the forward areas. Defensively, they're decent as well. They've got a big set of they've got a big squad, a good detailed team that knows what they're doing. They've got players who've been there, seen and done it, and they've got some young lads. So it's the Southampton's very similar to us. They're rebuilding as well. But yeah, listen, I still expect us to go out and beat them today.
Well, Ethan Ampadu is confident that we can do that and that we can show our true selves in today's game. He caught up with LUTV earlier this week.
Well, Ethan, it's always good to see you, and just explain what it's been like the last few days. What's the mood in the camp been like at training, working so hard as usual?
As weird as it may sound, obviously after the defeat, very deflated as you expect. We weren't, not just bolts, but the sound of our performance. We didn't put our stand, our authority onto the game at all, and the result was deserved. But after that night, after the weekend, it's just time to regroup. A big week coming, so the last couple of days actually been good. Just full of hard work and preparing for this game coming up on Saturday.
As players yourselves, do you drive that? Of course, it comes from the manager. Do your players drive it in your training performances, whether it's out on the pitch or in the gym?
I think what's been positive is that everyone, like I said, the boss, the staff, say even the physios or the players, everyone's on board. Everyone knows there's a task ahead. Obviously, it might be a difficult one, but everyone knows a task ahead and what we want to achieve.
There's always buzzwords in football fly around all the time: mentality, positivity, belief. Words that not only this week, but we've had for 45 games season. It's taking a step back and looking at these words and how much it means to you as players.
Definitely. Like you said, it's been the whole season. I think that's been something that we've not had to defend ourselves over. We've shown that in game, maybe barring this last one where we just let the game get away from. But we just want to, like you said, regroup, go back to this point. What's given us this chance? What's given us sort of fight and try and bring that belief into this game.
Sitting here in May, mentioned 45 games goes so quick, doesn't it? And for yourself, whether you've been in the midfield, centre half, wearing the captain's armband so many times this season, you must have enjoyed it to this point so far.
Definitely. It's sort of everything I expected and more. When I joined, we all knew what we wanted to achieve, and we're on course for that. We still have the belief that we can achieve that, and that's still our aim. Like I said, Friday was obviously disappointing, but other than that, it's been a massive honour to play for Leeds this season. I've really enjoyed it, as you said. A lot of good moments, and hopefully this season it's not the last of it.
And you mentioned him to go, and we know all what's at stake, but that kind of drive can create history. You guys can create history. How much of a kind of, not a motivation, but an extra drive is that to create history at this club?
No, of course it gives that extra percentages. As you just mentioned, we know what the goal is, and like I said, to create history would be amazing, and it'd be a massive honour for all of us. I think it's what the club deserves. But yeah, our focus is just for the game, and we need to make sure we sort of put Friday night right, and also do ourselves justice and perform the way we have all season. And then see what happens after that.
A bit like Daniel Farker, Ethan Ampadu, whenever you hear him, he speaks very well, doesn't he? He's very pragmatic in his approach.
Yeah.
Dom, as a captain, particularly in a game, you almost feel the pressure more than your teammates.
I did. I'm being honest. I've not. But yeah, I did feel pressure. When you get that armband, there's an extra responsibility because you feel a bit more. And I think that's a good thing. It's a positive thing. And I think Ethan's done that brilliantly. He's very calm the way he speaks, the way he talks, the way he organises his team. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's right for us this year.
It is obviously a massive game. Both Leeds United and Southampton will be of that. What kind of game are you expecting? Does everything kind of go out the window with this?
A little bit, but like I've mentioned, we need our characters. We need our stand up, go win the game, give ourselves a chance, give ourselves an opportunity, because you never know, and we've seen these things happen before.
You never know, indeed. It is the huge final game of the regular season here at Elland Road as Leeds United host Southampton. Hand over to your commentary team of Bryn Law and Tony Dorigo. Let's get the thoughts of Sam.
Well, Sam, all sorts of things could happen. How do you approach this one?
Do our best to win the game. That's all in our hands at the minute. I think try and forget what's going on in the place and yeah, put a performance in. We want to finish the season on a high, whether that's winning today and that takes us for automatic promotion, or if that's winning and, you know, if we're going into the playoffs, you know, the aim is to put on a good performance today, to compete and to get 3 points.
And after you've had a bad result and a bad performance, you'll want to turn it round anyway, wouldn't you?
100%, yeah. You know, the QPR game was miles away from what we're capable of with the ball, without the ball, and as a team. So yeah, that's first and foremost what we want to put right. You know, rectify that result and yeah, do everything we can to get a win today. And
to remind, it's been a good season, hasn't it? You know, final day, and there are still matters to be settled here.
It's a long season. I've just said out there, we've got 90 points, and it's, you know, most seasons that's enough to get you in the top two. It's a very competitive year, and yeah, we've done so many good things throughout this season, so many good results, good performances, and we want to bring that back today and finish on a high.